find you get turned off by the people who are into you, but the ones that you like seem to run the other way? This is a crazy phenomenon that plagues lots of us. We spend months pining for dates that we had a little bit of spark or connection with, not really knowing that much about them. Maybe they had great eye contact or did something to make us feel comfortable. Or maybe they're doing something that we are all too familiar with, making us feel uncomfortable. What? Why would one want to go for somebody who makes you feel uncomfortable, you ask? The answer is because maybe you've been surrounded by people who've made you feel uncomfortable for your whole life. Now, this might sound a little crazy, but this crazy belief isn't even mine. Dr. John Bowlby, a psychiatrist in the late 1950s, discovered through his research that the way that we establish a connection with people, and especially our romantic partners, is all based upon how we originally connected with our parents and caregivers. John Bowlby described 3 primary types of attachment: secure, anxious, and avoidant. The secure attachment is one where we grew up with primary caregivers who made us feel really at home and loved. We felt they had our back and wanted to give us everything we needed. The avoidant attachment is one where we felt our primary caregivers weren't particularly there for us. They were too busy with too many other things to really notice us. Maybe they were dealing with their own loss and grief. Perhaps they were dealing with a sick child, or one who needed a lot of attention, or maybe they were work obsessed, or maybe they were alcoholics. The bottom line is they didn't prioritize us. And if that was you, you learned that if you want to survive in this world, it's going to just depend on you. If you're an avoidantly attached person, it's going to be hard to connect with some other people. The anxiously attached child had parents who were sometimes there for them and sometimes not. This kid never knew whether their parents were coming or going. And the problem is, as a young child, this person finds themselves pining for their parents' love and attention. They might do all sorts of crazy things to get their attention. And often that crazy stuff takes their parents off even more, making them want to spend less time with them. If this is you, it might explain why some people aren't that into you. And the question is, what can you do about it now? Now, first of all, we have to acknowledge that if you have an anxious attachment style and relating to one or both of your primary caregivers, on the one hand, it's really painful to admit that you suffered in this way, but on the other hand, it should also come as a relief that you're not insane and that lots of people suffer in the same way. Lots of people didn't feel that their needs were met by their primary caregivers, and they woke around feeling a hole in their hearts from that pain of not being able to connect. Now, the good news is that there's a remedy, and it's called attachment-focused therapy. And by becoming familiar with the pain that you've experienced and healing those childhood wounds, you can rid yourself of over-connecting with people who are never going to connect with you, namely the avoidantly attached people. And it takes a lot of courage to admit that you struggle to connect with and find people attractive who aren't that into you. But once you do, you can break free of being, of trying to connect with people who will never deserve you. But once you do, you can break free and begin to connect with people who truly love and deserve you, and who can give you love that you need in a way that you can receive it and appreciate it. Now, if you relate to the anxious attachment, please drop me a line and let me know how painful it's been for you and what you've been struggling with. And if you've maybe experienced attachment therapy and you've overcome some of the stuff that we're talking about, please feel free to drop your comments in the box below. And if you'd like to see some more of my videos, feel free to hit subscribe.